Hey, welcome my Bulbashrimps to a weird Wednesday. This is a one-shot where I'm going to play for you a very bizarre game. I have some background music because there is no background music to this game. I'll leave a link to the music, but you know, if you've ever played this game, you know that it starts with a Daft Punk song. So I got some like electronica music playing in the background, just to go with the theme that I guess the game wants to go with. Alright, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this game. This game is barely a game. This game is from 2005, and let me play around, and you can decipher what's going on here yourself. So, as you may have noticed, I have just shot a cat out of a cannon. Hence the name, Kitten Cannon. Kitten Cannon, you can find all over the internet. I'll probably put a link to the Newgrounds copy in a link below. But Kitten Cannon is a game that I can't tell you how many hours of adjusting this cannon. Let me explain the controls real quick. You can adjust this cannon, by pushing up or down on your on the keys of your keyboard, the up and down arrows, and then see that little red bar that keeps going back and forth? That's the power in which you're going to shoot your kitten out of, and the little number represents the angle at which you're shooting it, and the more filled that red bar is, the more power. The less red and more black area, the weaker it is. So that's all you have control over. There are several obstacles in which your kitten will find itself interacting with. There's TNT crates on the bottom, which give you massive height, but not a heck of a lot of speed. There are spikes, which, much like the piranha plants, will instantly end your run if you land on. There are torpedoes floating in the air. Hitting those torpedoes will not give you much in the way of height, but will give you a lot in way of speed. And then, lastly, there's trampolines. Trampolines don't particularly help you, but unlike the ground, trampolines won't hurt you. They pretty much maintain your current momentum. So, what's the goal of this game? To get your kitten to go as far as possible, obviously. I can't tell you how many hours I've wasted, specifically back in high school. I graduated high school in 2005. How many hours in high school I spent with this browser open, shooting this kitten out of this cannon. I think the farthest I've ever gotten, it was somewhere in the, like, around 3,000 feet mark. Let's see. Yeah, so I've gotten this cat to go about 3,000 feet before. I know this hardly constitutes as a game, but it's so iconic of my high school years, or at least my senior year of high school. Sometimes it's funny to see just how short you can get it to shoot. But I guess a lot of the Weird Wednesdays are going to be like this, the weird one-shots. They're just going to be browser games like this one, where you just have it open to basically not pay attention to. And little trick that I learned back in the day was, if you like hold down the spacebar button, it'll keep shooting. And I know I'm giving you tips on how to cheese the system in Kitten Cannon. This is only the most highbrow and educational gaming channel you'll ever visit, where you'll get such luxurious tips as how to maximize your Kitten Cannon play. But if you hold down the spacebar button, it'll keep firing and it'll get through all of these motions. And something you can do is hold down the spacebar button and then change windows. When you do this, this theoretically should still work. I haven't actually tested it in a long time. When you change windows, the game won't register that you stopped holding down the spacebar. And when this happens, that means you can basically go on to play other games or do other things, and the game will just continuously fire the kitten at a roughly that power at whatever angle you set the cannon at. And then after 2 hours of not paying attention, go back to Kitten Cannon and see just how far you may or may not have gotten without even noticing while the game was essentially playing itself. This is one of the... I'm not saying that this is necessarily a good idea, but this is definitely one of those games that you can get away with quote-unquote playing while you're doing something that takes far more attention, like far more out of you to pay attention to. It's definitely something that you can sneak onto a phone. I know that a lot of phones don't have access to see, 2,400 feet. That's not too bad. That'll probably be my record for this video. The flash on a lot of phones don't work. You know, they don't use flash. So you may be hard pressed to get this game on your phone, but I'm sure someone has changed it so you could play it on your phone. I will tell you this much. Do not get fooled by this Steam game of the same name. I saw that Steam had this like 3D version of Kitten Cannon. I haven't actually looked at it, but it looks terrible. Like, don't get confused by the imitations, guys. This is the real deal. You need to make sure you're playing the OG Kitten Cannon, right? I mean, essentially this game feels like a game that you'd play in like Mario Party, and it's somewhat similar to a Kirby minigame from like Kirby All-Stars, when you would finish a level in I think it was specifically the in Kirby All-Stars, I think it was specifically the Dana Blade, the one where it had the bird as the icon. I think it was Dana Blade. That game had this where you shot Kirby out, and if you got the maximum power, you'd get like 3 lives. It reminds me of that if it was the whole game. And it's so dumb to be playing this, but you know, it's what I'm doing. I'm gonna switch it up and go to 17.5 here. That was just a test to make sure that it was actually working here. Is there any rhyme or reason where these things are laid out? Of course not. It's completely random. And look at all the trampolines I just went over. I hope, if nothing else, me playing this game introduces a new generation to the insanity that is Kitten Cannon. And may this game potentially, you know, take away hours of your time doing the most meaningless task as adjusting a cannon, like, angle, hitting the spacebar when you think the red bar is filled all the way, and shooting a kitten with the most stock cat noises and splat noises. It just fills my heart with joy playing this game. Alright guys, I'm probably going to be stuck here playing this game for the next 4 hours now that I've started. But in the meantime, I hope you've learned something today. I hope we all can agree that Kitten Cannon is the best thing on this earth, and that if you hold down the spacebar button, it'll... I called the spacebar a button. Anyway, if you hold down the spacebar and switch screens, it'll register that you never took your hand off of the spacebar, and so you can have Kitten Cannon running in your background. And you might want to turn off the sound to whatever window that it's open, or tab that it may be open. This way you don't hear those explosions and cat noises and squish noises every few seconds. But, you know, may you find your new love in this game. And there's plenty of imitations out there. I've seen ones that involve like Sonic the Hedgehog. Others I'm sure involve Kirby and other original characters. But this was the first one that I've ever played. Let me know if there's one older than this. But this is the OG as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, let me know. And I think you can see the tag down here in the bottom, burstfilms.com. That was back from the very beginning. Thanks for joining me on this excursion. I hope you enjoyed this one-shot. I hope you enjoy shooting kittens out of cannons. We're gonna end with this run. Let's see how far I go. Not very epic. I was kind of hoping that I would go off on a very long one, but my high score here is 2,402. Tell me what your high score is down below. If you've gotten it, put it on the Bulbashrimp Games Facebook channel with a screenshot of your high score. Show me that you've beaten 2,402. It's not too hard to do. I told you, I've definitely gotten over 3,000 before. So, thanks guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.